Isn't it annoying, guys? When you buy furniture, it's either paying extra $600 for the quote unquote white glove service so they can assemble it for you, or you assemble it yourself. That's annoying. Well, at Borgen and Burke's, the furniture is already assembled for you. You don't have to pay extra. All you gotta do is take it out of the box and enjoy it. So visit BorgenandBurks.com to experience the collection that they have. In this episode, we are going to talk about a really effective tool. Yes, and we've seen it. We saw its effectiveness the day of the election, actually, because the government completely switched to the other side, to the GOP. So therefore, the other side who lost control of the White House started using this tool, a really effective tool that has worked for millennia. Fear mongering. They love to instill fear in you because it's really effective. But why do you think it's really effective? Because fear evolves. Fear doesn't stay just as fear. But before we go further, we need to understand a little bit of where it comes from. We are all born with senses. Some of them, unfortunately, are born missing a sense. Maybe it is sight. Maybe it is hearing, right? But for the most part, everybody's born with their senses. So through our senses, emotions are developed in our body. One of them is fear, because we could see something ahead that is scary or dangerous. Therefore, my body naturally is going to feel fear. Or if we hear something at a distance that we cannot see, also, we're going to feel a little bit of fear. Or if we smell maybe something like gasoline or gas or something, we're going to check where is it coming from because it is dangerous, right? So our senses, in a way, are the catalysts of several emotions in our body. And one of them is fear. Fear comes of being uncertain. Fear comes because we don't know where we're going sometimes on a road. Fear comes because we don't know. We can hear something, but we don't know what it is. So fear comes from uncertainty. Fear comes from being confused too, being unsure. So these people, they know how to use fear as a weapon. They know how to tap into your emotions by exploiting this weapon, which is fear. Powerful weapon used for millennia. Well, let me give you an example. When you get a chance, open your scripture and read on Numbers 13. This is where Moses sends out 12 men to go see the land, go chart and trek towards the land that is promised for them. Go see who is occupying that land, he tells them, and see report to us what you find, what you see. So they went, and practically it was uncharted territory. They went there, they trekked there, and they saw who was occupying the land. They saw giants also occupying the land. So seeing all that stuff, when they came back to Moses, they were already coming back with something in their hearts. What did they see? The giants and so forth, and armies and different people. So therefore, they quickly charted back, reported to Moses what they saw, but they brought back with them fear in their hearts. Yes, fear. But this is why fear is a really important weapon, that we need to be aware that sometimes, if unchecked, could evolve. Fear evolves, folks. Because as soon as they reported back to the people and Moses, murmuring starting to happen in between the people. Yes, you know what murmuring is, right? When they slowly start talking with themselves. Hey, what happened? What did they say? Oh, they said that they saw giants. What? Yeah, no. And then another person asks, what's going on? And they're having a meeting, and because these are the folks that came back, and They said that it's impossible to go up there and take the land because there's giants. No way, there's giants. Yeah. And they said that we are like lobsters compared to them. They could practically smash our heads with their feet and so forth. Oh my God. See how the murmuring fear started to cause murmuring in between the people? It doesn't stop there, folks, because they started to show, if you read further, read on the 31st, verse 31st, they started to raise their voices. Anxiety started kicking in. Yes, anxiety started kicking in. So fear brought murmuring. Murmuring started to cause anxiety in the people because they started, what do we do? What are we going to do? The unchecked fear evolving. What do we do? I don't know. We're going to die here. See how, and we've seen that play out. The anxiety starts kicking in. That's what started happening between them. And then the anxiety starts causing chaos and panic, and to the point that they were complaining and and raising their voices. See how it evolved? The anxiety started to evolve into disrespect. They started to complain to Moses, to yell at Moses. It says there, they started to yell at Moses, to complain, why did you bring us here? We're going to die here. We can't take this land. We should have gone back to Egypt. We were better there. First of all, Moses wasn't there because he wanted to. Somebody sent Moses. Who sent Moses? God. If they were complaining and yelling at Moses, who were they complaining to in reality? To God. They were complaining to God. They were yelling at God. See how fear, if unchecked, how it evolves? Yes, it evolves if unchecked. That's why it's a powerful weapon. Fear. Because people have studied this, especially bad people have studied how fear evolves in people. First off, it wasn't the first time that the Israelites were facing, let's say, a challenge. It wasn't the first time the Israelites were in danger. It wasn't the first time that they faced quote unquote uncertainty, because that's how they felt. But there shouldn't have been uncertainty. Why? Because look at this stage. They were practically almost at the promised land. So therefore they journeyed across the desert when they left Egypt. So it wasn't the first time that they were faced with a challenge. God had already shown that he was with them. Because to begin with, they were, I could say, they were freed from the plagues. Remember the plagues that God sent to Egypt? They were freed from the plagues. Nothing happened to them. That was one time that God showed, I'm with you. That was the first time that he showed, I'm with you. The second time was when he freed them from Egypt, away from slavery, right? And then they reached the ocean, and again they started falling into chaos and fear. Oh, we're gonna die here. Why did you bring us here? We're gonna die in the desert. Our children are gonna die. When they saw the armies of the Pharaoh approaching. And what did God show after time? That he was with them. Moses opened the water so they can cross through it. And then they were crossing a barren desert, and God sent a cloud to cover them in the day. And at night, a lantern to light the pathway. And let's not forget, he fed them from the heavens. So still you feel uncertain? Still you are doubting me? Haven't I shown you that I'm with you? That's how God was with them. Wasn't it enough for you to believe in me that I'm with you by opening the water so you can cross? Not one of you died by the sword of the Pharaoh. Haven't I shown you that I'm with you? You're still doubting me? Doubt causes fear. Doubt. And sometimes we doubt if God is going to help us. They were always doubting. And God was like, haven't I shown you that time after time I've been with you and you're still doubting me? Yes, that was constantly happening. Time after time, he's shown that he's with us and we still let fear rise. We still let fear rule sometimes our lives. Yes, we let fear rule our emotions, uncontrollably being disrespectful, complaining. Time after time, he's been with us. And let me tell you something. It's not good to feel fear. It's not good to let fear in our hearts. It's normal. It's normal for the body to feel fear, but we shouldn't. When we are already in an enlightened path, or when we are already people pursuing a higher consciousness, there's no way you should let fear be in your life or in your hearts. No, you can't. I'm sorry to say, you cannot be enlightened and have fear in your life. You can't. Remember that time that Jesus Christ was crossing the waters with his disciples and he was asleep and there was a storm brewing to the point that his disciples started feeling fear, that they went to wake him up. Oh, Lord, look what's happening. How can you be sleeping right now? Don't you see the storm is going to devour us? That was the point that we needed to realize as humans, that we cannot let fear dictate our lives. The disciples were falling into chaos out of fear. But the other one, which is the Lord, showed us how we are supposed to be. He was enlightened. His consciousness was already elevated. He was completely enlightened. So what did he show us? A and B. A is chaos and B is enlightenment. This is how you're supposed to behave. He was peaceful and calm to the point that he fell asleep. And then when they woke him up, he looked at them and was like, what's going on? You don't see the storm? Yes. Aren't I with you? Yes, Lord. And then he calmed the ocean and the storm, and he told them, you are men of small faith. He, right then and there, he set it in stone. All this time, I've been with you guys, and you were doubting this little storm. There is no room for fear if you are looking to be enlightened. There is no room for fear if you want to become a being of a higher consciousness. Listen to that carefully. Don't fall into the fear mongering that you will hear in social media. Don't fall into the fear mongering that you're going to see in the news outlets out there and other people let's not forget, there is people out there who love to instill fear just because they get a kick out of it, just to get a reaction from you. They are not people looking to be enlightened in life. They are not people looking to be beings of a higher consciousness. No, they're not. You are. So you need to be the calm one, to the point that they're going to be like, hey, you're not afraid? You're not afraid of this? Is what's going on? Like, no, I'm not actually. Because time after time, everything works out. Time after time, he's shown that he's with me. And that's how you're supposed to be. Keep that in mind, guys. It's normal for human beings to feel fear because of the senses and the uncertainty, but we shouldn't let it dictate our actions, our happiness, and our life. Stay tuned, folks, to the next time.